Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody who has liked and subscribed to the channel so far. It's really awesome. I can't thank you enough. I never thought I'd get even 2 subscribers, let alone the amount that I have so far. So big thank you to that. And I guess don't forget to like and subscribe to the ones who haven't already. It really helps out the channel and it helps me get past the YouTube censorship. So with all that out of the way, like usual, let's see what we got today. We are live.
Hydrogen peroxide. Life hack to stay healthy in the modern world. Hydrogen peroxide, food grade, is 100% safe for you to use to clean your vegetables, to use to clean your home. You can put it in your clothes to brighten the whites. You can do a lot with it. You take the 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide and you water it down to about 11-12%. You can rinse your mouth out with it, clean your vegetables, clean your home. Throw away all those toxic chemicals in your home. You can replace them all with hydrogen peroxide. This will greatly help protect you, your family, from keeping your gut health, your skin health, your environment in your home perfectly balanced for a healthy, vibrant being in the modern world. Give it a try. Food grade hydrogen peroxide. Here's the secrets. This is a life hack to stay healthy in the modern world.
I mean, it's definitely worth a try. If you got some on hand, couldn't hurt. I hear it's good for your teeth. You mix it with baking soda.
Wow! I feel violated right now.
Who apparently wanted to know what a beaver butt felt like.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good when you were 16. Like, that was bad. Wow, look at your eyes. And what music are you listening to?
Get that off of there.
Hey! My parents never gave me the sex toy.
Okay.
So why don't you give me the sex toy?
I feel uncomfortable right now.
Oh!
Why do you want to know the sex talk from a 15-year-old boy? That's pretty weird.
You like French girl?
Oh yeah, I love
Some
really weird question. And only to see my mom was right there.
Things on blast, you know.
You want to say it again? You have beautiful lips.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Oh, you got great lips.
Thank you.
Just wear condoms. Yeah, serious.
I want to protect her, you know. I don't want her to go through anything I went through.
Poor dude, man. I mean, it's obvious this guy's gone through hell and back.
This is the largest Gothic church in Northern Europe, the Cologne Cathedral. It took 632 years to build. How did they have the infrastructure to build this in 1248? Do you really believe these incredible works of art were built by primitive beings with a hammer and chisel?
No.
I think not. That astonishing detail to these buildings just couldn't be recreated today. So now, you might be wondering, how did they manage to build these structures? The ancient civilizations used to have technology we couldn't even imagine today. But as time goes on, this technology is starting to resurface, and we are able to see how these megalithic buildings could have been built. Could it be from harnessing the sun's energy, high-pressure water jet technology, or Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and follow at Mike Priest ARR for more content like this.
Yeah, I'm 100% convinced none of that was done with hammer.
Guys, do you ever get the sense that we've been lied to about like everything? Do you know when archaeologists discover an old building, they always assume it's either a temple or a tomb? What do you think they'd say about the buildings they'd find in America? Our state capitol buildings. Check out all these ornate decorations. These things are painted up like they're mausoleums, or churches, temples, places of worship it looks like. Look at all the gold fittings, the sacred geometry, the murals of false gods. They're going to take the 10 Commandments down in a courthouse, but they're going to leave up false gods. And this guy, I think he's symbolic of spreading seeds around America. Well, it looks like he was pretty capable. Yeah, Nebraska, what's up? Why did you guys never tell me about this? So these gods are not their gods, and yet they feature them in our public buildings that's supposed to have separation of church and state. That's weird, isn't it? Unless, of course, they are their gods. This is a temple, and that is a place of worship. That actually kind of makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Hey guys, if you like this content, please share and follow for more. Love you guys.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting theory. Something to mull around a little bit. I don't discredit anything yet.
People have been using this place to live in for decades, man. I've been here 20 years. And when I came here, there were already people down here 20 years.
Around 2008, I went looking for mole people, a name given to the homeless who live in the tunnels beneath New York City. My search led me to the Freedom Tunnel, an Amtrak train tunnel that runs under the West Side Highway in New York City. Decades earlier, when the train tracks were still abandoned, this tunnel was home to dozens of people, and is largely responsible for the urban legends of mole people.
Well, there ain't too many people that live down here anymore.
Yeah.
In the early 1990s, the tunnel became active again, and a massive eviction took place. A fortunate few were able to go undetected and continue living in the tunnel. I was lucky to meet one of these people and work out a time to film an interview.
So, how do I find you when...
Alright, my house is easy to find, actually. You go down the service road to the end of the gate, the last gate that you come to.
Service
right
road
now,
right
they got
here?
it locked.
All right.
My house is right above that.
All right. Is there a ladder there or something, or?
You call me.
What's your name?
My name's Walter.
Walter? Yeah. I'm Eric. Good to meet you, man. Eric. Cool. I'll come by next Saturday then.
All right.
The following weekend, I eagerly followed Walter's directions to his house. I was excited for the opportunity to speak with him and learn about his life in the tunnel.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right.
Once I climbed up the ladder, I was astonished to see the home Walter had built for himself.
I mean, adapt, improvise, overcome, right?
Two companies run the entire world, and they have a vested interest in keeping us divided. Vanguard and BlackRock have a combined $17.4 trillion under their management, making them both bigger than the largest bank in the world. And these two companies have major shares and voting rights in the biggest companies in the world. From energy, oil and gas, food, technology, media, finance, and each other. They are also the top two owners of Time Warner, News Corp, Comcast, and Disney. And four of the 6 companies that make up 90% of the media landscape in the US. Isn't it funny how Fox and CNN continue to vilify the opposing side when ultimately they are owned by the same people? Vanguard, who's the largest owner of BlackRock, describes its corporate structure as unique, making it very difficult to find out who owns it. Aside from private shareholders, they don't allow for any outside investment, and they're not publicly traded. The most well-known shareholder is probably the Rothschild family. But the other holders include the Bush family, British royal family, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, and the Morgans. There's tons more to say on this topic. If you enjoyed the video, tap the plus and I will make more.
It's a big club, and we ain't in it. For entertainment purposes only. This is a satire channel.
Company and Larry Fink hold such power. Why is it that you have not heard of them more? There is power in anonymity. If BlackRock is barely featured in print publications and news channels, it is because they want it to be so. If they wanted, they could feature every day. BlackRock currently owns 18% of Fox, 16% of CBS, and 13% of Comcast, which in turn owns NBC, MSNBC, and Sky. If any of those companies wanted to make a decision, they would have to also consult with BlackRock before doing so. The same is true for Google, a tech giant currently worth $853 billion. Amazon, Facebook, and Twitter are also not exempt, and neither is Disney. Thanks to their incredibly diverse investment portfolio in media alone, BlackRock essentially owns 90% of the world's media. If you don't know about them, it's because they don't want you to. Why? Owning a portion of the world doesn't come without its share of scandal or conflict. In 2020, BlackRock became the first foreign company to be allowed into China's mutual fund industry, which means they can now invest and own parts of Chinese companies, including ones that are blacklisted by the United States. One of the first investments made by BlackRock was in Hikvision, a security and communications firm that essentially makes facial recognition software for use by the Chinese government. But this money isn't just BlackRock's or Larry Fink's. It comes from pension funds and bank accounts of ordinary civilians who have unknowingly given money to BlackRock in the past. If we take into account BlackRock's ownership over Western media, banks, e-commerce stores, social media, food and beverages, and many, many more industries, it becomes evident that the company has a wealth of data on us. They may do with it what they please. TikTok's data harvesting pales in comparison to what BlackRock is capable of, given how they have everything from our bank account numbers to our personal tastes and preferences. As BlackRock's investment in China grows, so will China's influence on the world. And our personal data, which was hanging on a thread to begin with, will quickly end up in the wrong hands. With the trajectory BlackRock has been on,
Well, that's interesting. For entertainment purposes only.
With what just happened with Simply Orange, this should send shockwaves through the consumer market. So Simply Orange is owned by Coca-Cola, and here's what they just got caught doing. Now you may think with the slick branding that this is just simply orange juice, and it's not from concentrate, so that's good, right? The problem is oranges are on the dirty dozen, which means they're part of the 12 fruits and vegetables that are the most sprayed with pesticides and herbicides. So right off the bat, since it's not organic, you're getting doses of chemicals, pesticides. But that's not what this controversy is about. And it's not about the synthetic vitamins that they put in here either. Coca-Cola, the parent company, has now been sued because of high levels of toxic forever chemicals that are found in Simply Orange juice. Forever chemicals, also known as PFAS chemicals, is basically what's used to coat a non-stick pan, which we know there's many documentaries about the extreme damaging effects of these chemicals on the human body. So my guess is that their entire factory uses Teflon non-stick material, and that's how hundreds of times, look at this, hundreds of times above federal limits for drinking water. So they're getting sued because they say, made simply orange, it's just simply oranges, and yet it has hundreds of times of a neurotoxic, DNA damaging chemical in it. Let me know in the comments if...
I mean, I can't even say I'm surprised anymore.
The world might actually be run by demons. At almost every major city, there is symbolism for Lucifer. The United Nations headquarters is located at 666 United Nations Plaza, where there is tons of demonic symbolism such as this end times beast. In the Bible, it says 200 fallen angels descended at Mount Hermon, and the UN just happens to have a believe.
Exactly. It's all just speculation. Take from it what you will. I know what I took from it, but...
What they've hidden is unbelievable. The lost continent of Mu wasn't just a myth. It was a real advanced civilization that vanished without a trace. But that's not even the craziest part. Look at these pictures on screen right now. These are 1,000-year-old structures. Do you really think normal people built these? Seriously. Ancient texts and oral traditions refer to a vast sunken land in the Pacific, saying, Mu was the cradle of civilization. These newly discovered underwater ruins and strange monolithic structures across the Pacific suggest remnants of Mu. These ruins show similarities to other ancient sites worldwide, hinting at a shared ancient global civilization. Maybe something like Atlantis. But once Mu sank beneath the waves due to a catastrophic event, its knowledge and technology were lost, and the true story was buried.
I've never heard of Mu before. That's an interesting one.
During the Tower of Babel incident, which dates back earlier than the Bible, it goes all the way back to the Sumerian tablets. Enlil, who's also known as Yahweh in the modern-day Bible, he comes back and he witnesses the human beings all working together on one accord, building a tower into the heavens. This enrages him. He then destroys the tower, and he realizes that mankind can set their heart to do anything that they want if they come together and work in peace and unity. So he divides people, he changes their languages, and then he also says, my seed shall not abide in man forever, his years shall be 120. That's when the genetic modification occurred on the current man that we are today, where our lifespans were shortened. So what they did was, they took out chromosome number 2, fused it together, and put a telomere cap on each end. Modern science has now confirmed this. They know that it is not by evolution this happened, but they can't figure out how it happened. And according to modern science, it happened about 200,000 years ago. Ironically, the same exact time the Sumerian tablets stated happened. And so what happened was, every time your cells reproduce, every time your cells duplicate or your DNA replicates, these telomere caps get smaller and smaller and smaller. The genetic buffer material begins to shrink. Once it runs out, your body begins the death process. And that's how your lifespan is shortened. And so now scientists at Harvard University have discovered this, and they've been experimenting with mice. And they can get mice to live 3 times their normal lifespan by stopping the telomeres from shrinking or running out of buffer material. Now, here's the key. Unless we, as human beings on this planet, take back control of our planet, we're going to be sold time.
You know, say what you will about Billy Carson, every once in a while he will bring something like that to the table where it's a new perspective on something, and it just kind of gives me a new way of looking at it, I suppose. And that's an interesting concept. It's something I'll definitely have to think about for a little while. We had a lot of interesting clips today, actually. You know, there's a lot to think about, a lot to talk about. I can't say I'm surprised about the orange juice. You know, as someone who has cured chronic inflammation by switching to an all-meat diet, I don't eat anything packaged, I don't eat anything processed, I don't even eat fruit, or vegetables for that matter. And I'm doing okay. It's been several months now, and like I said, I don't have chronic inflammation anymore. I can move around, I can exercise, like I feel like 20 years younger. So I know that's not the case for everybody, but that just tells me that whatever's in the food supply, it's killing us. It's not good for us. I'm not saying that you should go ahead and do the carnivore diet unless it's something that intrigues you. I would recommend it, but I would definitely recommend cutting out as much processed stuff as you can. But that's all I got today, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me again. I really appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. And I guess I'll see you again in the next one. So until then, 80 Canadian, signing off.